Hello, lovely people. Welcome to our weekly reading for the 8th of April. This is our weekly tarot reading, and I'm very excited to see what this week has to bring for us. I hope you are too. Let's have a look and see. Okay, let's have a look and see what the cards have to tell us for this week. So we've got a minor arcana card here. We've got the Five of Swords. If I remember rightly, we had that last week. And then we have the Five of Cups, another minor arcana card. And we have the Eight of Cups, another minor arcana card. Okay, so it looks like we have a rather challenging week ahead of us. We have the Five of Swords, which is very much about change. There's a lot of conflict in this card. You can see here with the jagged clouds that, you know, there's a lot of turmoil, conflict in this card. And so we're looking at swords. Swords is very much about the mental thoughts, what's happening in your head. And five, the number 5 in tarot heralds change. So with regards to change, with the swords suit, the swords need to have, they need to have a need for understanding. They need to understand what's going on. And fives represent, the Five of Swords, it kind of represents negotiating with other people. And especially after an argument, after a disagreement. So this card presents an opportunity to have your needs met in ways that will strengthen your bonds, between the various parties for the future, for future negotiations. And this card can also describe the aftermath of an argument or a separation. Because it's a sword card, we're looking at sharp words, we're looking at accusations, recriminations, and all of these sort of things are likely to have been voiced when this card comes up. It's also a card that can come up if betrayal, it's kind of like, can be a card of betrayal. So it may be that there actually was a betrayal, or at least that you may feel that there was, you may feel a sense of betrayal. And because the fives represent the sort of mental acceptance of transformation. And sometimes, that can happen after a sense of betrayal, because a sense of betrayal is really, really deep. And betrayal tends to come from people that would be very close to you in some form or other. It could be at work, it could be in your relationship, it could be within your family. So, it is something that would be very close to you. And particularly for swords cards, for swords people, they really need to know what is happening and why it's happening. And they need to understand kind of like where these current changes might take them. So, as I say, it's a card of arguments. It can suggest ongoing disagreements, or it can suggest a parting of ways. And it can be also likened to winning the battle but losing the war. And so it's not a happy card. This is not a happy card. And so the 3 swords that he's holding, I just bring that up to you here. So there's 2 here and there's 1 here. So these 3 swords, they kind of represent the pain that's already being felt. And this is manifested outwardly in the form of words and actions that are going to hurt people close to you. So this could be you, this could be somehow or another you're in this. So it may be happening to you, or you may be the person that's doing this. And you know, when you're suffering inside, it can be, you know, when you're suffering inside, it can get too much. And when it gets too much, you can express this, or it can be expressed by lashing out, because, you know, inner torment, it does provoke expressions of anger. And that anger is usually what's hiding debilitating fears, or a debilitating sense of feeling powerless. And so, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, a cornered animal. They're going to just lash out. And it can be very difficult to engage the cooperation of other people if they're feeling betrayed. And in the same way that your cooperation will be very difficult to engage if you're the person that feels engaged. And eventually what this will lead to is loneliness. So again, whichever side of that fence that you're on, whether you are the person who's being betrayed, or that you're the person who feels betrayed, it can result in loneliness. And the 5 can also represent all different aspects of the same person. So, you know, you may be angry, hurt, abandoned, and feeling vulnerable all simultaneously. And if this is you, or if whoever this is, antagonizing this person might incur a fierce retaliation. And especially in respects of in terms of acrimonious words or very harsh action. So it's a very strong card. This it's a card that it's not a happy card, and it's a card that needs dealing with. This card is telling you that something is happening in your life, that there is some kind of conflict there, and it needs to be dealt with. And it's kind of encouraging you to look at the way that you're managing this situation and how you're dealing with it. And this card certainly implies that this conflict is happening very close to you. Now, this leads us on to another 5, which again, as I've said, it's about, you know, change. And but now we're looking at the cup suit. And the cups suit is very much about feelings and sensitivity. And so here we're looking at a sense of loss that can accompany change. And cups people, they do get very unsettled by the loss of that comes with change. They're the people who mourn the loss of the familiar. And they're the people who will vividly remember how that person or that place or those circumstances, how these things, people nourished them in the past. So there's a real sense of mourning in this card, a real sense of sadness in this card. And this card, it can, because it's about reminiscing after a loss, it indicates a real period of grief. And, you know, grief is necessary before you can really fully participate in life again, because it's an emotion that needs to be processed. And only after a significant disappointment, if you like, is intellectually and emotionally processed, can you really focus on the next step in your life's journey. So these overturned cups here, you know, these are the cups that are holding the attention of the person who is all in black here. So we're really looking at the sense of sorrow and sense of grief. And, you know, this person, these cups, they represent lost opportunities for fulfillment. And that's what this person that this character is representing. And due to their narrow focus, it means that they're blind to other possibilities for happiness. And this is you we're talking about. So if you're very engaged, if you like, in grieving these lost opportunities, your focus is very narrow. So you're not aware of other possibilities for happiness. You're blind to other possibilities of happiness, and because you're too much in the grip of the sorrow that this card is suggesting. You know, that there's a real kind of sense of isolation, and it's isolation from the river of life, you know, this the flow of life here, and it's also isolation from this castle in the distance, which represents stability. And so it's a real, the Five of Cups is a card of narrow-mindedness, because your grief is blinding you to the opportunities for happiness. And the reason that you're so blinded as well is that you're only aware of the cups that are turned over. You're not aware of the two upright cups behind you, offering ample opportunities, because they're out of your vision. Because your vision is, if you look here, your vision is just focused downwards. And you know, the thing is, in life, grief and loss are unavoidable. I mean, we can't go through life without experiencing grief and loss at some point, and at many points in our lives, really. And you know, sometimes loss is an essential step for personal growth. It's sometimes we don't look within until we reach until something happens to make us kind of feel the need to do that, because we need to develop a deeper understanding of life. And often you know, grief and loss, they can point towards a deeper understanding of life. They can kind of point towards a personal destiny. And you know, the thing as well is that loss is unavoidable when we're attached to things, when we're attached to people. We're going to experience loss. When we're attached to pets, we'll experience loss. When we're attached to our property or job, whatever it is, whatever we're attached to, we are opening ourselves up for loss. And that is an inevitable part of life. The thing is, when sadness is past, you know, most people regain their appreciation for life. And when awareness of life's opportunities return, then that bridge over the river, which in fact is over here, you don't really see it at first because your focus is on the figure and on these, in the direction of these upturned cups, which are lost opportunities. So you don't really see the bridge, again, because the bridge is behind his line of vision. And what this bridge is doing, it becomes visible after, when your grief and sadness passes, this bridge becomes visible. And it's this link then offers a steady path, you know, back over the river and back to the stability of the castle, at least, you know, in terms of symbols. And it's offering you a nice strong road to link again with like-minded people and your sense of stability, what will bring you stability. So the cups behind, these are the cups that are offering happiness and fulfillment, and the castle presents an opportunity for constancy. And so this is a time to accept change. This card is telling you it is time to accept change. And to accept change, you do need to focus on your grief and your sadness for a time, so that in order to process those emotions, so that you can then look and see the other opportunities that they are there. You're just blind to them. And so this is it's a fabulous card really to come after this one, because here you have the change that comes out of conflict. Here you have the conflict, the clouds, the storms, the recriminations, the active stuff is going on here. Now you have much more the passive, which is very much about, there's this depression, there's this grief, there's this loss, and you just can't see anything good in the future because you're blind to it. So this card is about processing that, and it's only after processing that can you then go through accepting the change that has occurred. And this then brings us to the 8 of Cups. So we're staying in this suit of cups of emotions and sensitivity. And this is kind of talking much more about our instincts as well. So again, if we look at the numbers of the cards here, we're looking at number 8. So we've gone through change with number 5, change with number 5, and now we have strength is the number for courage, number 8. So the 8 of Cups represents a sort of inner resolve, and it's this inner resolve that's necessary to leave an emotionally unfulfilling situation. So here you may have the recriminations. Let's say we're talking about a relationship here, kind of has that sort of look about it. So we're looking at a relationship, we're looking at maybe betrayal here, and all the recriminations and the anger and everything that goes with it. And here you have where you're having to process loss and grief because of the betrayal here, because of the angry words and things. And this card is saying, do you know what? It's time to move on. Because 8s, Cups people are they're naturally sentimental. So leaving somebody or a situation behind is very often unsettling. And it requires a real commitment and determination to move forward, especially when you're moving forward without any guarantee that there's going to be, you're going to be happy as a result. So that really does take courage, and courage is strength. So this card is also telling me that there's been a lot of thought put into this. You've got the sun and the moon, so these thoughts have really kept you awake during the night, trying to decide what to do, whether to stay, whether to go, what's best for everybody, what's best for you. At the end of the day, what's best for you is really important, because what's best for you will become what's best for everybody around you. You need to, if you're authentically working for yourself, in a way that's not destructive to others, then that's, that is the most important place to work from. So the 8 of Cups strength, it's in knowing when a situation has yielded all that it can, at least for now. Because Cups people are attuned to emotions. They instinctively know when a friendship is ending, and or when maybe a relationship is undergoing a transformation. So Cups people, they have an intuitive awareness of when it's right to stay or when it's right to leave. So whatever is going on with you, if you feel deep down that it's time to leave, then you need to listen to that. But likewise, if something is really obvious to everybody else that you should leave, but you feel deep down, that it's worth your while to stay, then you need to listen to that, because this card is telling you to listen to your instincts, to listen to your authentic self. The Eight of Cups is searching for the Nine of Cups, for the ninth cup, if you like. And because really, in a way, that's, if you look here, there's a gap here. So there could be the ninth cup in here. Now, the ninth cup is about fulfillment. And and it's almost at the completion. 9 is almost at the completion, because 10 is the completion. So we're very close to completion here, but there are hard decisions that need to be made. And that completion is towards fulfillment. But this card is telling you that decisions have to be made. And whatever decision you make, the journey is going to require energy, it's going to require passion, and it's going to require commitment. Because what you're really doing is seeking what is missing inside. And the 8 is neither a promise of happier times, nor is it a guarantee of success. What it simply is that you need to act on your own awareness that your present circumstances have little to offer. That's what this card is about. And that's where the courage and the strength really comes in, because it's easy to go forward if you know that you're heading towards success. And it's easy to move forward if you know that you're heading towards fulfillment. But the real courage and strength lies in not knowing what's on the other side and yet moving towards it, because instinctively you know that's the right way to go. So it is about really... this card is really about the realization that change is needed, that your present circumstances have got little left to offer, and that change is absolutely needed. So in the card, this person is walking away from maybe a job or a relationship or a lifestyle because it holds no purpose anymore that's worth exploring. So it's it's pretty much, to me, a card of finality, and I think it's actually a very interesting card to end the reading with. And because this card, the other thing is you need to look a little bit deeper than what we see. So it may not be about physically walking away, because maybe you're not in any position to physically walk away. But you are in a position to do the quiet withdrawal into yourself in search of new sources of joy. And that you can do. Whatever your circumstances are, you can actually do that. But you need to have the strength and courage to be able to do that alongside something that you know is not working, but you're still working towards your future. And you're particularly working towards your future if you're in search of new sources of joy, and if those new sources of joy are coming from within. So this is the time to discover what will bring you happiness. This is your quest, and it's unique for each person. So the 8 of Cups is about taking the journey within you, to the realm of your authentic feelings. Now, it could be the journey that's within you. You have to kind of take that journey first before you can take the journey outside. And, so taking the journey within you may result in physically walking away from whatever it is you need to walk away. But that journey has to start within. And it's not an easy journey to initiate. And this journey, it can be accompanied by a period of depression, because maybe you built your life on a premise of one thing, and you're finding out that it's just not working out. It hasn't worked out. And you've realized now that there is no future in this. And maybe the time is right to move away, or maybe the time is right now to prepare for that within yourself. This card will tell me that you've kind of already done this journey before, somewhere along the line in your life. And it's saying that your instincts, they will once again guide you. So instincts, unfortunately, they don't kind of adhere to the laws of logic and, rationale in the world. Instincts can be very messy and confusing. But you really have to acknowledge them. And the Eight of Cups can be very much about a very deep healing if you listen to your instincts. So, although it's not the kind of lovey-dovey, gorgeous reading that one might like to have in a week, it is still it can be very much a positive reading, providing that you listen to your instincts and you do what's right for yourself. So here you have the conflict, here you have the process of grieving for the loss of what's happened here, and here you're looking at what kind of a journey do you have ahead. Is your journey within, or is it accompanied by a journey that's also on the outside, where you will possibly physically have to leave something behind in order to seek your inner fulfillment. So this was our reading for this week. And if it resonates with you, do please leave me a comment below. You can also subscribe to this channel to be notified for the next reading. Now, if you would like to know more, you can book a private reading with me. I love to hear from you. And you can find my email address in the description of the video. So lovely people. On that note, I'm going to love you and leave you and talk to you next week.